Totes Recall.
Welcome! Wow, to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we can't remember very well. Then we pause the recording. We eat 2 pizzas and 2 salads. Thank you, patrons. Wow. And then we come back, second half of the record. Now we know what we're talking about. My name is Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this Netvember is The Net.
Wow, what are the odds?
We're celebrating everybody's favorite holiday
Month,
Netvember, by watching the patron movie of the holiday month, and that is Sandy Bowles' The Net.
Right. And by patron, we don't mean like their patron of the podcast.
Yeah,
although
like in the
Sandy,
Catholic way.
I was confused.
Sandy, get on it.
Sandy B.
Sandy B.
Sandy.
Drop some D's. Dollars.
That was confusing.
It was a little unnerving. Hey, so when do we think this came out?
Wow, great question.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
I've also never seen it.
I also,
I
can
think
I
I've seen it.
admit something?
Yes.
I didn't know that this was a movie until our Respect Listener Opinion Month. I think it was nominated or something like that.
A Ralam Nam?
A Ralam
This is
Nam.
a Ralam Nam.
Why have we never said
I don't
Ralam
know.
Nam? It was a Ralam Nam, and I didn't know what it was. Somebody said Sandra Bullock's in it, and that's it. That's all I know about
All
it.
right.
Full stop. You're done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty great film about the earliest days of the net.
This is, maybe the earliest internet film.
So excited.
Okay.
So
So,
should we
it's a
do
hacker
a-
film.
Pre-call?
Absolutely.
Are we calling for a pre-call now? Based on 2 of our hosts having never seen it?
Great. Yes, we are. REI is clamoring for it. They've been sending me messages whittled in driftwood.
Wow. REI in your DMs.
Yeah, they're sliding in there.
Yeah, and they definitely should do that in a way that is not just us claiming they're doing it and
Yes.
giving us money.
Right. Yes, give us money, REI. Totes Pre-Call presents 60-second pre-summary. 2 people are doing it. I've got a timer. Molly, put your phone away. It's me.
Okay. And is this a shared 60?
Absolutely.
I feel like
Okay.
I'll be impressed if you fill 60.
All right.
Wait, so it's just,
You and me.
but
Rapid
you
fire.
maybe have seen it.
I think I have seen it and remember a single scene. We'll get to that after Dan and Beth.
All right, I'm
Okay.
locking eyes with Beth, and we are going
I don't even know. I have no idea.
Yes, 1 minute of eye contact and summary. 3, 2, 1, go.
There's a hacker.
Sandra Bullock is a computer person, but not a hacker. She's just good at it.
Maybe she works at like a business building.
Ooh, or she works for like the NSA, if that existed at the time.
Yeah, and all of a sudden things are happening through the internet that are bad.
Things.
Bad things.
Plane is crashed.
And a building's sprinkler system goes off.
A zoo animals get released.
The Hoover Dam
30 seconds.
collapses.
Oh no. Sandra B is either drafted into finding the hacker or is the one who is clamoring that there is a hacker and no one believes her because she's a woman.
Yeah. Also, she has a love interest.
Yes, I love
And
it.
turns out the love interest is the hacker.
Oh no! But also, she meets like a new
seconds.
potential love interest who is also a hacker, but a good one, and there's sexual tension over the internet.
And then they don't
Time.
have sex at the end.
Okay, could have just said bang.
Why couldn't I think of the word bang?
Probably all the eye contact.
Yeah.
Wow.
those.
Wow.
I think you got a surprising amount right.
Really?
Serious.
Yeah.
Here's what I know about this movie. You ready?
Yeah.
I know Sandra Bullock is in it. I know that Late Night with Conan O'Brien once did a dumb sketch about their favorite scene from the net, where it was literally just a woman typing at a table, and then a rope fishing net with eyeballs on it, like wandered into her room and then jumped on her, and she went, "Oh no, it's the net." And then they cut back to Conan O'Brien, who, as is his usual form, is just like, that's the dumbest thing we've ever done.
He does this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I know about this movie is it's about the internet, and the joke was, what if it was about a real net?
Very cool. And you saw that sketch around the time of this?
I assume it'd be weird if they did that like years later, right?
I mean, this is a pretty iconic film, I will
Okay.
say. I saw it in theaters
Wow.
for sure. Probably, I think this is post Speed. I feel like Sandra
Okay.
Bullock.
Yes.
This was like one of her
Because her
early-
star had risen, right?
And
Yes.
Speed
Yes.
came out in the year
93.
early 90s.
I'm going to say 96.
4. All right.
Oh, shit. Is that okay?
Well,
That's okay.
but,
All right.
but this is at the earliest stages of the internet, right? It was still like
93.
a little mysterious.
When did Clinton come into office?
94.
Wait,
Okay.
Windows 95.
Because
Wow.
I associate.
I want
like,
to switch to 95.
Great.
Because maybe this is just me, but I associate like people. I feel like the ubiquity of knowing what the internet is. I associate that with the Clinton
92.
administration.
92.
Does that make sense?
I'm worried I said too late now because now I'm remembering how young I was when I had an AOL account.
Right?
Wait, how old are we in '96? Shit. No,
I
I'm
mean,
sticking with 96.
35 now.
You
I'm
mean
sticking with
35?
I was
96.
14. I'm way off. Yeah, it's earlier.
No, I disagree. 96.
Yeah, I mean, as the podcast judge, I need to set a good example by saying 1 year and sticking to it.
You did write it down.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Dan's
I-
bad fast typing.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
before I haven't met on a year yet.
Oh, I thought you
Oh.
did.
Yes,
Oh!
you said at least 2 different years.
Oh, sorry. 92 is when Clinton came into office.
Oh, you
So
were
to
answering my
clarify
question.
that.
I see.
Okay, you said 94 for this movie.
I was trying to beat you to the punch because that's what I thought you were going to say. But you know what? Let's just hold
Wow.
steady with that. I'll stick with
Thank you.
1994
Thank you.
for
All right,
now.
92
For now.
Wow.
I would like to share the single scene I remember about this
Please.
movie.
Go for it.
Sandra Bullock is in the net.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
She has been transported inside the net.
Like Lawnmower Man?
Yeah, or Johnny Mnemonic
Yeah.
maybe, or Tron.
Yeah.
Wait, as a metaphor?
No,
Like she's in like a virtual
Yes.
reality system?
babe, probably. I have one scene, all right? Let me get it out. It's dark everywhere.
Sure, it makes sense.
Except
The internet is.
one staircase that appears to be completely unsupported by anything.
Ooh.
She walks up to it. There's a terminal there.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Wow, that's got to be like
Is this a dream?
Dream sequence?
Wait, the terminal's at the top of the stairs or at the bottom of the stairs?
Top of the stairs.
Nice.
She ascends the staircase, and then there's his computer there.
Well,
Yeah,
that
the
makes
terminal.
sense.
The terminal.
Wait, is it a dream sequence based on, or is this real?
I mean, here's my memory of this movie. Sandra Bullock is an accomplished computer programmer. I believe this is like during Unix days. And she has a colleague who calls her and wants her opinion about a thing. And he sounds like he's in danger. And she blows him off because she's going on vacation. All she wants to do is go on
Oh.
vacation and unplug to finally be away
sure.
from the internet.
Got
And
it.
while on vacation, she meets a handsome fellow
Oh, wow.
All right.
who may or may
Pierce
not turn out to
Brosnan?
be trouble. Like, I honestly can't remember.
Yes.
You think it's
Is it
Pierce,
Pierce Brosnan? That would be amazing.
What's bad? Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
Wow.
I feel like it is someone with dark hair, but not him. But who knows? And so she is sort of, that's happening. And then there's this mystery that's unfolding.
On vacation.
On vacation.
Okay, nice.
The mystery is still the
which
friend.
is like an island somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then does it turn out that the island lover is the hacker? Like someone like Dan and Beth bet?
There's more to that person. And I honestly can't remember if it turns out he's like there to protect her, get information from her, try to get her cooperation, or if he's the bad guy or maybe a double agent. But there's a mystery component to it. And it's, in my memory, all rooted in real life. There's no like floating staircases.
Okay. So, what are they hacking? What are they hacking?
Yeah, what's
Like-
hacking?
What's hacking?
What aren't you scared of them hacking? You listed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
They're hacking government systems. They're hacking commerce.
Is Sandy
It's-
Bulls hacking? She's a good computer.
She's a good computer.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they motivated by money or chaos?
Ooh.
Great question.
I mean, I think they're motivated by money.
Okay.
That it's basically they're holding the world ransom.
Whoa. From
Yeah.
this island?
No.
No.
She's just the only one who can stop it, and she happens to be on this island.
So does she have to get back to the mainland
To
before
get
she
to
can
the
get
net?
on the net?
And get in the mainframe? I don't know.
Unless the island has this one terminal.
Yeah, the dark
Maybe-
staircase
Yeah.
terminal.
Maybe it's in the business center at her hotel.
Ooh,
Do you
yeah.
think that
and
the
it's just
dr-
poorly lit.
Do you think the dream sequence is how the movie starts? And then she wakes up and she's like,
Netmare.
I can't even get out of it in my dreams. And now I have to go on vacation.
Yeah, I got to unplug.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Here's what's happening in my brain right now.
Yep.
I keep, even though I know for a fact that this is from the movie Enemy of the State, I, for some reason, cannot let go of the image of Patrick Stewart with a busted nose chasing her, even though I know for a fact that is what he does in a different movie, and there's no way he is also playing that character in this movie.
I
You never
mean,
know. He's got range.
I would be overjoyed if
I mean, that'd be
Patrick
amazing
Stewart
if he
was in
had
this
an
movie.
ongoing character of government spooky guy with a broken nose across many movies.
Wasn't he in another movie where he was a spooky government man? There's a lot of green in it.
What?
Oh, sure.
The Matrix.
Not that one. That's a good green movie, but no.
You mean the one,
Something Room, maybe?
oh, you've lost me again.
Oh,
Green Room?
maybe.
He wasn't a
Just
government
waiting.
agent. He was a neo-Nazi in that movie. Are we talking about the same movie?
I don't know.
And are we talking about Captain Picard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we are. Oh, good.
Nice.
I thought I was way off.
No, good job.
No.
Okay, so I think what my brain is saying is there's probably a similar character in this movie that is also like, I'm from the government and you are maybe not approaching this the way that the government wants you to. And she's like, oh, no. And she has to hide from multiple
Is she
agencies.
Is she hacked for the government?
I don't think she hacks.
So
for the
we know
government
she's good
professionally,
computer for sure,
but
though.
she's good computer.
Okay.
Oh,
Computer.
she is the hero of this.
So do you
story.
think government comes in? It's like, we need good computer.
I mean,
Because bad computers out there.
And they're holding the world hostage
sure.
with their bad computers.
She's like a free agent.
I don't remember. I'm going to go on record as saying I don't remember, but in my general haze of recollection from having to watch this movie likely 30 years ago.
right.
Having to.
Oh,
Of having
this is a
had-
date
Oh,
situation.
okay.
Oh, no, I wish it were dates. No, I went with my friend Kelly.
All
I'm
right.
pretty sure. And I bet it was at Lenox Mall.
Oh,
And I
Wait,
think it
Linux
was-
Mall?
What?
Wow. Linux?
Lennox.
Lenox.
Oh, Lennox.
Lenox.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
It's at Lenox Square.
Okay.
And it was in one of we didn't see it when it first came out because it was one of the smaller theaters. I kind of remember
Sure.
the
Second
yeah.
run.
Not second run. No. But like not in the big theater anymore.
Right.
Okay.
Within the theater spaces, there's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
And it was one of the smaller theater, like Theater 8 and not Theater 1. Yeah. Okay.
I am now wondering how much modem noise is going to be in this movie and
So
how much
much.
it will send me back in time.
I hope a lot.
Like time
Bong,
goes.
bong.
Dan's bet. The movie opens with the sound of modems and
Ooh,
us
that's a good
passing
bet.
through the internet to then come out of Sandy V's computer into the real world.
Really good opening.
That is a super good bet.
That might be an
My-
animated opening.
That's what I'm saying.
My bet is that
Good
it
opening.
starts just setting her up as a frazzled, fun, likable character who's super busy.
Is she full on Sandy B in this?
Ooh, great
Like,
question.
is she like Miss Congeniality Sandy B?
I think she reins it in a little bit to
Like
be
she
a very
doesn't-
serious programmer.
She doesn't like fall over on her way to her computer.
Yeah. Oh goodness, no! It's definitely. I don't think it has rom com energy at all. I think
Okay.
it has
It's like a thriller.
suspense
This is
thriller.
a thriller.
Because
Yeah.
this is the Speed Star is Rising
Yep.
Yeah.
situation.
Are we between Speed and Demolition Man here?
Ooh.
Or is this after Demolition Man?
Oh, great question.
We should watch Demolition Man.
We should definitely watch Demolition.
That's another movie I have no idea what that's
Yeah.
about.
Ooh.
Great. It's great.
Great one.
great
Hold
Taco
on to
Bell
that.
movie.
Hold on to Here's what happened. I was about to say, hold on to that for Ralam Nam, and my brain was not prepared for that amount of insane verbiage.
Nom. Do you think there are other like women hackers in
Oh,
this
okay.
movie
Oh, other women computers?
that she could talk to?
Oh,
Great question.
Like,
And they
I
got
don't-
computer names?
I think if
Yeah.
she passes the Bechdel walls, it's because she talks to someone at the hotel
Mm.
who maybe has on a name
Like,
tag.
hey, can I get some ice?
I mean, it might be something like
Yeah.
that. But I
Okay.
mean, I would love to be wrong. Maybe there's another scientist or something.
That'd be great.
She got a sick handle in this.
Ooh, I hope so.
Hacker name.
Oh, like Neo or something.
Good computer
Yeah.
32.
Oh, Bulldog.
Maybe I don't know. I think we're going to be really enchanted by whatever they use for disk storage space.
Ooh, yeah.
It won't be
Yeah.
like a floppy, but it might be like a little hard disk.
3.5.
3x5?
But I
Not
think
3x5. 3.5.
Molly's
Yeah.
bet it predates the zip drive.
Oh, for
Right? It
Sure.
would have to, right?
Yeah.
The zip drive, as we just learned, 99.
Really? No, I thought it was like no.
Deep Blue Sea, they were zip driving.
Oh well, sure, but it came out before that.
Yeah, but it was like,
It's like 96.
it was happening. The
zip
moment
drive
was
was
happening.
a tight couple of years, though. That came and went.
It did. It was not its
Which
fault.
it burned so bright at
Yeah.
the time.
I thought a zip drive was the little another name for a thumb drive.
Flash drive.
Flash drive.
Zip
Flash,
drive
zip,
held
zoom.
100 megabytes.
100
Which at the
megabytes.
time, that
That-
was so many floppy disks.
Giant.
Yeah, how much
hard
did one of those
disks.
3.5ers hold? I don't remember.
44
Oh, it's so
Jesus.
small.
kilobytes?
A lot of Word docs.
It's insane when you think about like, oh, I have to my school project. I have to stick it on this like 2 discs, and then you realize how small those fucking discs were.
I remember my first, like one of the tricks I used when I first learned HTML was there was an image that you could use like a low res image and a high res image.
Sure.
And you could have the low res image like load first. So it would be a light bulb that was off. And then when the high res loaded, it would be a light bulb that was on.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like really fun. But it's because it took so long to
Right.
even do like a little sad icon.
Yep.
I had to explain to people why they shouldn't use circles as their navigation. And I was like, circles take longer to load than squares.
Amazing.
Oh.
Speaking of that,
Mm-hmm.
will this movie have a vastly overambitious representation of the internet at its time?
I think it will. Well, you know what? It'll be very interesting because what my gut initially was to say, oh, I think it just overrepresents the harm. But based on more current events and like the types of things that people are scared of different governments doing, maybe it seems naive.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan's bet. The bad computers will have some sort of hilarious logo that appears on people's computers.
Oh, like a skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a skeleton, but the skull and crossbones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Independence Day.
Yeah, but like maybe something else for once, but probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they'll use the pirate term or what. Maybe they will.
Will there
Molly's
be?
bet pirate.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
good.
that is good, especially if there's an island theme going.
Right?
Wow.
Will there be anyone else we recognize in this movie besides Sandy
hindsight,
and maybe Pierce Brosnan?
I think the Pierce Brosnan person is someone we will find recognizable in hindsight.
It feels like the kind of movie, because if this is Sandy B's Stars Rising, speeding, if you will, to the top,
Right.
it feels like the kind of movie where like they would have to get someone else who was also like marginally bankable as a male co-star, right?
But not, I don't remember. She was all over the posters and it
Yeah.
was just her.
But I mean like someone who like maybe now would be like, oh shit, it's that guy. You know what I mean? But at the time it's like, yeah, they're good enough. They're big enough to make a dent.
I guess so. I really feel like their budget, they really splashed out for her and no one else.
Sure.
But
And
let's
that
find
island.
out. And that island.
I feel like if it was somebody else that we know, okay, this is a bold bet.
I love it.
If it was somebody else that we know, I would have heard of the movie because I'd be like, the movie with
Wow.
Sandra Bullock and that person. But just because it's Sandra Bullock, it's probably not
I see. I don't
because
know.
of the patriarchy.
I don't know though, because I feel like every movie that she stars in, and I pick like if I see it, I'm like surprised at who else is in it because I always
Sure.
learn about them as Sandra Bullock movies,
Yeah. I
right?
feel like it'll be
Sure.
like a Tony Goldwyn type.
Remind me who that is
Yeah.
again.
The guy from Ghost?
Yep.
Ghost?
Ghost.
Who was he in Ghost? The villain.
He was the villain.
Got
Yeah.
it.
The suave villain.
What else is he in? That
I don't remember.
I feel like you bring
Die
him up
Hard?
multiple times.
His name finally locked into my brain.
You want to flaunt it?
I want to
And
keep
he is
it.
the perfect example of someone like that where you're
Right.
like, that guy, he's
Yeah.
in so many things.
I
What's
see.
his
Like
name?
the bad guy and everything, and he's
Yeah.
always good at the same role he always plays.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like seems nice at first, but
Are you betting Tony Golden's in it?
Yeah.
Okay. As bad computer?
as Bad Computer
I love it.
or Island Lover,
Ooh,
which are maybe the same.
maybe.
We don't know.
Now I'm thinking about Jumpin' Jack Flash.
What's that?
That's
Oh,
Flash
another.
Whoopi
drive?
Goldberg.
Is it about a flash drive?
I wish that's another old hacking movie. It's like someone Jumpin' Jack Flash contacts Whoopi Goldberg through the computer.
Okay.
It's like, you got to help me. You're the only one that can help me. And she's like, and she's funny.
Mhm.
And then I think she does a lot of stuff, and maybe Tony Goldwyn's in that, but maybe I'm thinking of Ghost.
Wow.
And then in the end, Jumpin' Jack Flash is Crocodile Dundee.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Oh, okay. So we never see his face.
Until
Until the
the
very
end.
end, he's like in a car and
He's
he's like
like-
smoking a cigarette
He's
or
like,
something.
"Crikey."
Crikey, Jumpin' Jack Flash, isn't it?
Oh, I'm a computer.
Rolling Stones.
What?
Wait a minute.
He's not English.
No.
No. But Jumpin' Jack Flash is a Rolling Stones song.
I see.
Ah.
It's a gas.
Yeah, no, we know this. We know this.
Do we?
Yes, yes, we do.
All right, sing it right now.
No, we can't.
I just
We'll
feel
get
like
sued.
Jumpin'
like you're-
Jack Flash. It's a Rolling Stone song. It's me, Mick Jagger, and I'm singing the song.
Nailed it.
Incredible Jagger impression.
Thank you.
Keith Richards guitar. Shred, 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 shred.
Great.
okay. Yeah, no.
Okay.
I
How should
just
we
got
rate this
confused
movie,
because
I
you
guess?
started with Crikey and then you went to Isn't It, and then I
I
was like,
said
"Is
Crikey.
this?" Oh, okay.
Well, I was merging Crocodile Dundee and Jabba Jack Flash by the Rolling Stones.
Oh, on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
got
Let's
you.
say it was on purpose.
Yeah, everything I do is intentional.
Yes. Ew, crikey, I'm Jumping Jack
Molly
Flash.
just like kind of made a ooh, yikes face and then just wrote the net on a sheet of
Sometimes I think Molly just has to like get some conflicting emotions out of her body before she attacks one of us.
through a pen.
Yeah. So she's just like focusing on her anchor. It's like we're watching the net. Just focus on the net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember anything else about this movie. So, Molly, what should we rate it?
We're gonna rate it based on Sandy's bees.
Sandy's Bees.
Okay.
I would like to know
Yes.
if there's the letter B and it stands for something, or if it's an actual bee.
Oh, it is an adorable bee. It's
Buzz
multiple
Buzz.
Oh,
bees.
what makes
Buzz
it
Buzz.
adorable?
It's like kind of plush.
Oh, is it? But is it alive?
It is.
So are they friends with Sandra Bullock?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, it's a live plush, so she's not selling them on Etsy or anything.
Oh no. Yes, she is. Okay.
Okay. Give
Sorry,
us the rundown.
Sandy's
Live bees.
bees.
Give us the backstory.
During the pandemic,
Yes.
Okay.
Sandra Bullock, like so many of us, found a lot of downtime, and decided to take up crafting.
Of course.
And
Let's not
she
have
just
kids.
she started with one little crocheted bee, and then she decided, well, I need enough for a hive, and so she just kept making more and more of these adorable bees.
Mhm.
And now that the pandemic is basically when she's gone back to work, by the door at her home, she has like, where you might put like a bowl of fruit or something.
Yep.
Sure.
She has a bowl of hand crocheted bees, and whenever guests come or kids or whatever, she just leaves. They take some bees with her.
And they're alive.
No, we took off the alive because
Oh.
I realized this
Wow.
was crocheted. No, I realized that's just
You
too
made
much.
me believe magic was real.
Yeah.
I mean,
If anybody could do it, it's Sandy.
I mean
Right.
that is
Practical
fair.
magic.
If you're very, very good,
Okay.
you can bring it to life.
I see. That's what she tells the kids.
Yes, but then what typically happens though is people are like, "Oh, Sandra Bullock gave me one of her bees," and they're like, "Yeah, you and everybody else." So people try to like name drop it, but she's
but
just
it's
so
like,
generous.
She's got so many
Yeah.
bees.
So many bees.
Yeah. So
But
anyway,
we only are able to get 5 at most, is what I'm understanding.
well, it's life has gone back to normal, and a lot of guests are come by, and there are 5 left.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So how many of those 5 would you give this movie?
I see.
Wow.
Wow.
Great.
That was an amazing journey.
Yeah.
I
really
thank
was.
you for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure our listeners do as well.
We'll find out. Dan, you go first.
My
as we all
name
know.
is Dan. I'm first and best, and my chest is smooth, or whatever it was last time.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've never seen this movie. I feel like this movie is going to just delight me because it just has a lot of potential to be like the perfect 90s movie where it's like, yeah, it's like the Speed star is on the rise. So it's going to be like that kind of a thriller where it's like the era of Speed, which is an amazing movie. And it's also going to have the joy of maybe someone who wrote the screenplay spent 10 minutes talking to someone who knows something about computers and then just went for it. And I think there's going to be a lot of hilarious attempts at computer showing of them, like showing how computers work and how the internet works. And that's going to be a delight. So I'm going to be optimistic and say that I'm going to leave Bullock Manor with 4 Sandy Bees
Great.
with room to grow. Because what if I am just so charmed that I take a whole bowl?
You might pop back in and grab that last one.
Yeah, I'll be like, Sandy, this is for the net. And I'll take the last one.
I got my keys, and now I got your bees.
Keys and bees.
Keys and bees. Beth
Yes,
starts with B,
it's true.
rhymes with P and stands for pool.
What are you doing?
Got trouble right here. That's another Rolling Stones song. Beth, you go next. As we all know.
It's true. I am the second and the best.
Yep.
The best.
Oh.
Nailed it.
Okay. So I feel like this movie as a movie is going to be fine. But I do think I'm going to be very entertained by all the technology within it. And also, Molly's been so excited to watch this movie. So it
That's
has to
true.
be good and
Yeah,
like it has to be good.
That is true.
Can we? I want to take a moment.
Or bad.
I would
So
like
bad
to
that it's going to be fun.
counterbat that I remembered it poorly.
I'm going to say 4 Sandy Bees.
Excellent.
Awesome. I want to take a moment
Please.
mid-rating to expand on Molly's excitement as I have perceived it.
Yes.
We scheduled the net for Netvember because we thought it was funny maybe a year ago.
Uh-huh.
And for the last 4 months, every time Molly has occasionally been like, can we watch the net? It's on Netflix now. Not remembering it's
For
scheduled.
Netflix.
And it's charming.
Mm-hmm.
It's charming how excited you are, Molly.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's also take a moment, though, to appreciate that the last time Molly was this excited about a movie that none of us knew anything about, it was Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Which, as its own movie, is pretty hot, wet garbage. But in the end, created like an entire corner of our friends group subculture.
Yeah.
It's true.
So maybe this will be the
To
new
the
launching
metaverse.
point of a new
This is great.
our social group obsession with something dumb.
Yeah.
Well, and I just want to clarify that Netflix kept serving up the net to me. Like apparently, because I was going through a John Grisham phase,
Sure.
and it was like, this
It's
is the
adjacent.
sweet spot.
Yep.
Molly Chase, you will love this movie.
Yeah.
And I kept like skipping past it because I'm trying not to get any information about it.
Right.
And so every time that happened, I was like, can we please just watch the next? I really want to see it again. And I'm being haunted.
So the algorithm was mocking you this whole
Yeah.
time.
Eventually, I just started watching other things like the Great British Baking Show. And it was
And
like,
your Chicago
Very
shows.
similar.
oh, I am into the Chicago shows. Peek behind the curtain. I'm in season 3 of Chicago Fire out of like 10 or 200. I don't even know. It goes on forever. It goes on forever. Anyway.
Wolfman just printing money.
Yep.
Yep.
Hot Goss.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
One of the main creator and showrunner for all of those Chicago shows that appear on a network that has not advertised with us, but if they did, I would say it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not I was gonna try to spell it and I can't do it out. Anyway, point is, Derek Haas
Uh-huh.
was a screenwriter on Fast and Furious 2, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Amazing.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's quite a career trajectory.
It is. It's very fascinating. And he happens to be related to someone I know.
And
What?
and he is related to Chicago show?
He like created Chicago Fire.
He's Mr. Chicago Fire.
He's
He's
Mr.
Mr.
Chicago.
Chicago Fire, which he spun off into Chicago PD and Chicago Med, and
Wow.
have made them a powerhouse lineup
Yeah.
for.
Dick
Good
Wolf
for
just
him.
signed the checks.
Yeah.
I
It
know
is.
very little about Chicago shows.
Mr. Furious, Mr. Too Fast, he's the one actually running
Yeah.
the show.
How I haven't given my rating yet.
Neither is he.
Nor
Oh
have I.
my
That was our
word.
mid-rating break to talk about Molly and Chicago shows
Right. Brought to you by Chicago Fire. Pending.
on an unnamed
Pending.
network. I anticipate being delighted by the early 90s of it all and the bad technology and charmed by Sandy.
Of course.
So I'm going to say 4.
All
Wow.
right.
We're all being very Minnesotan about this and leaving one B in the bowl.
Yes, we are leaving 1B in the bowl. I thought about going 5, and I think I get burned. I get burned on a 5. You go in with a 5 in your brain, you're going to come out with a 4 in your heart.
Great.
Yep. We both said it at the same time, so it's true.
Yep.
Molly.
I am Molly. I go last. I feel like at this point, if I gave it anything less than 4 Bs, you would be like, why are we even doing this show? So, 4 confident Bs with room to grow.
All right.
And I don't know, man. This has a lot of elements of Tokyo Drift in that I have an irrational excitement about it that the movie probably cannot live up to. But if it's like Tokyo Drift, we watched it, we hated it, it was terrible. I think I gave it like two 2 Muppet hands or whatever for the rating. And the very next day, I was like, man, I could really go for a Tokyo Drift again.
Also, great episode of the podcast. If I can
True.
just toot our own horn.
Yep. Go back in the archives. That's early.
Yeah, it's
That's
an early.
might be single digits, honestly.
Ooh, it might be.
Yeah.
Also, this one, I guess, has that added Sandy B factor. So even if it's another Tokyo Drift situation, we may be buoyed by the Bullock.
Late breaking bet.
Wow, this is late.
This is very late. I am a little concerned. I think my memory is Sandy B is not as dynamic in this role because she's
finding
trying
her
to be
feet.
serious.
Oh, sure.
But I'm hopeful I'm wrong because she is effervescent, and I don't know that you can keep that down.
True.
Wow,
America's
So.
sweetheart.
Oh,
we
Is
caped
she?
for B.
I don't know.
I thought that was
That's Julia Roberts,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
America
allowed to
can
have
have
Cameron
more than
Diaz.
one
yeah, we can't have more than one sweetheart.
I mean,
We're America.
can you?
USA, number 5.
I feel like I've always.
I
found-
mean, big love to all our poly fans.
Yeah.
You can have more than one sweetheart. That's it.
okay.
I don't want to yuck anybody's yum.
Oh, I hate that so much. I will speak for the entire podcast and say that I think Sandra Bullock is more interesting than Julia Roberts, hands down.
Wow.
I think they're both perfectly fine actors, but I
We
feel
don't have
like
to pit women against each other. though.
I'm not.
That's
I'm
another thing
saying
that I believe.
I'm saying these two women each have their own careers, and we applaud them for it.
Yep.
But I feel like Sandra Bullock is just a more interesting performer.
well.
Well.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch the net, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Totes Heads, it's me, Dan, your mid-roll king.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Coming at you in the middle of the net. And what I'm here to talk to you about is the holidays are coming. Jingle, jingle, jingle. And the holidays mean gifts, and gifts mean products. And what products am I talking about? I'm talking about Totes Recall branded merch.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, so it's Netvember and Merch Ember.
It's Netvember Merch Ember.
Yep.
The shopping season has begun.
Yes.
One merch you can buy is a sweatshirt. And it says
I'm listening.
Cinephile.
Oh.
Oh, intriguing.
This is a good way to identify if you
Yeah.
are like Beth and I, in fact, a cinephile. You have
Yes.
watched 123 movies.
Or if you just want to, like, be a pretender.
I mean, nobody's going to call you on it. 'cause
yeah,
I'm
not
planning
gonna,
on
like-
getting one.
Like,
of
you don't
these.
have to prove it to order it, right?
No, you don't need
No.
like a vaccination card
Okay.
to buy here.
But
So,
if
wait.
you're confronted by a true cinephile, ooh, get
Yeah.
ready.
Be ready
Yeah.
for a battle.
Yes.
And am I a cinephile if I've seen all 100 of Totes Recall's first movies?
Yes.
Ah.
And that's it. Go to totesrecall.com/merch.com to get
Nope.
all your Totes Recall Netvember Merch Ember merch.
Wow.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. That's one segment of the mid-roll. And because I'm a king, there's two segments. And the other one is that at a different website, on our website, totesrecall.com/patreon.com,
Oh, my God.
you can become a patron. And one of the rewards for being a patron is to have your name shouted by us. And we have two very special shouties.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ooh,
One-
shouties. That's fun.
Yeah. One is Brandon.
Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon, for
Thank you.
giving us money.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the other is Ed.
Ed. Thank
Ed.
you, Ed,
You are
for
appreciated.
a similar thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if you want to be a shouty, donate at patreon.com/totesrecall.com/.com.
Oh,
And
it's
if you want merch,
way
go
too
to
many
merch.merch.
This is why
Enter
the monarchy.
Totes
This is
Recall.
why the monarchy was overthrown.
And
you
now
realize, right?
back to the net.
.com.
No.
And we're back. We just watched 1 hour and 54 minutes of typing and running.
Oh, yeah.
Old Type and Run. Classic 1995. Beth with the
Windows
Windows 95.
Incredible.
Bill
Amazing.
Gates is not in this movie, but also
He kind of is.
Jeff Gregg is Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Gatekeeper.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Bill Gates keeper, more like.
Minesweeper.
Yeah. But before
Never
we
heard
get too deep into our podcast of Bill Gates, the clown, Gates so stupid.
Melinda, get at us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There is a segment on this show
Okay.
that cannot be hacked away. It's
Okay.
too powerful.
Okay.
It resists all hacks.
Why is that?
It's the virus killer.
What?
It won every award and will cure all ailments.
Including...
Yep.
Especially if you have.
Yeah.
And it's 60 Second Summary.
Oh.
We know it. We love it.
You know it. You love it.
As is tradition, will volunteer to go first, but I was dragged pretty horrendously for doing too good a job and being angry last time.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
It was too good.
Yes.
So I could.
And I definitely went 2 times ago.
Okay,
So
I
I'm
will
not
go.
going.
I
I
nominate
don't think
Molly.
Molly's ever done it.
Ever. Molly, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. And go.
We open learning about Sandra Bullock. She is a computer programmer who works for the good guys in a corporate context. And one of her colleagues collects viruses, which becomes important later in the movie. She is just wanting to take a vacation. After 6 years of not taking a vacation, she goes to Mexico. Before she leaves, her friend Dale wants to get in touch with her, and he tries to fly to her in a Cessna, but his Cessna mysteriously crashes.
30 seconds.
Wow.
Okay, this leads to a series of mishaps where ultimately Angela Bennett loses her identity completely. She gets a criminal record. Her house gets sold out from under her. Her car disappears. She reconnects with Dennis Miller, who was her therapist / lover. Creeped out. We'll talk about it later. And he's the
10
only.
seconds.
Her mother has Alzheimer's, so no one knows who she is. So she has to fight back. And mostly it's with like tricks and shenanigans. But at the very end, it's through the power of computing.
Time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I mean, you know,
Pretty good.
there's some detail. I wish I had mentioned that she meets a guy on the beach and his name is not Pierce Brosnan, but
Yeah,
Devlin.
it's close.
Jack Devlin.
Yeah.
Devlin.
Yeah, it's a lot of running around away from the bad guys who continue to make everything go wrong with computers
Yeah.
because they know the back door
To
the-
everything?
the biggest security software
Right.
because they made it.
Right.
Yep.
I think the moral of the story is that you should have friends in real life.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
then, that somebody other than 2 people can vouch for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
One
A
of
lot
whom
of
has
these-
Alzheimer's.
Yes, exactly.
That is the lowest.
It's
point in the
really
movie.
heartbreaking. Honestly, that scene where she's talking to her mom on the phone, it's way at the end, so I'm skipping way ahead.
That's okay.
But I
That's
was
fine.
like, this is going to make me cry.
Listen,
Yeah.
Sandra
Also, she brings it.
brings it in this movie.
You
She
can see why
does.
she got that statue for what? The Silver Linings Playbook or something?
She was
What?
What? Oh, the blind side.
Blind side.
Blind
She
side.
should have gotten it for
Why
this.
do I conflate those movies? Do they both have football?
No.
No.
Silver
Play-
Linings Playbook is like Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, maybe I just think playbook football.
Sure, that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
I see it now.
Still dumb. She shouldn't have won for that. That movie's garbage.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But she's good.
Good in this.
She was charming. I don't know why I was so worried. She was great.
She played, I thought, she played it very well as like socially awkward, but not.
But
Like-
not as like a stereotype of a computer person.
Yeah, like she's not like, oh, like I can't even. She's just like a little, she's not the most social person. She's a little shy when talking to people in real life. She's very amiable with her internet friends and with Dale over the phone. Like she's clearly capable of social relationships.
Yeah. But a lot of problems in this movie would be solved by having friends
Just
Yes.
any of them.
or talking to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Yes, instead of computing all the time.
Yes, teens. Get off your beep boxes
Okay.
and go talk over the fence to your neighbor.
Quit tick-tocking and start tick-talking with
We're
your.
workshopping it.
Listen,
That is massaging
we are
her
married.
migraine headache that she just got. But
It was too much.
We hacked her brain.
I almost died.
Because it was so good.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it
we'll
was
pretend
so
that.
clever and
I
good.
mean, I think that belongs.
I think it was
in
how you
our-
emphasized the L. Tall.
We are wearing matching overalls right now. There is a keyboard.
We are all sitting in backwards chairs.
Yeah, and I think we should give Angela Bennett's character credit for being pretty smart. Like, she's pretty
Sometimes.
smart. I know sometimes she's not as resourceful as you're like, you know, and some of it's to facilitate giant plot holes. Like, maybe if she just called that one FBI agent, like, that she knew the name of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it was like she was just caught up in the panic and
Right.
didn't have a moment to collect herself until near the end. But I also was very impressed with her competence. And I don't know if this speaks more to my low expectations of how women in trouble are portrayed in movies or actually how competent she was. But like when she first gets almost murdered on a boat
Yes.
Yeah.
by Jack Devlin,
Yes.
who pretty close to Pierce Brosnan.
Honestly, when he shows up on that beach, I was like, I can see how you thought that was
Yeah,
Pierce
he's
Brosnan.
a dark-haired
even though you've
Englishman.
never seen the movie.
Yeah, but closer than maybe we would have thought. 'Cause,
Yeah.
dark-haired Englishman, shirtless.
Shirtless.
Could have gotten
Very.
hit by a drive-by fruit at any time.
Cut.
He was charming
Yeah.
and funny
Too
and had
charming.
similar jobs. And
Yep.
he was, the amount of overlap between them was suspiciously strong.
Yes. But she doesn't have a lot of experience IRL.
Right. In real life, which she says
Yeah, on the movie.
'Cause it's-
On the movie.
because it's
She says it on top
1995.
of the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was surprised to see that so early in history.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a fairly newish thing, but also, why would I think that? That's dumb.
Wait,
Well,
which is a newish thing?
Like IRL, using the phrase
Oh.
IRL.
Oh, right. Because
Or
it would
the
have
abbreviation.
originated
Yeah.
at a time where abbreviations would have
Yeah.
been useful.
You maybe were not. Were you chatting in chat rooms?
Are
Not
you-
in chat rooms, no, but I had
Your little-
AIM.
Sure. That
So I
kind of counts.
chatting with friends and getting catfished by people I went to high school with.
Oh no! Did that actually happen?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I've told this story before.
I think you have.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that a phone, like a three-way phone call? Or is that a different thing?
that's a different thing. That definitely happened to me. But
Teens are so mean.
They really are. Cyberbullying's real, people.
and it was
who don't believe in
real
it?
back when the internet was in its early days.
Yeah. But I remember going into chat rooms. I was a chat room kid.
Okay.
We'd just go and chat it up with strangers.
Yeah.
And it felt fine.
Wow.
And then you'd usually make fun of people and try and get people mad. 'Cause I
Okay,
was
so
13 years
you're
old.
describing us being a cyberbully?
Yeah, we cyberbullied people.
Great.
But they bullied us first. We tricked them into being jerks, and then really
Tricked them
Wow.
into
turned
being
the
jerks.
screws. Anyway, I was trying to talk about how competent Sandra Bullock is.
Right.
Yes.
'Cause I'm a feminist.
Wait, what? What?
Feminist.
But why'd you say it like that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to put the man into
Feminist.
putting the man
Oh,
back in feminist.
brother.
The headache's back suddenly.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm too far down a salad hole here. So she finds the gun in Jack Devlin's pocket, and that's when she's first like, oh, maybe Mr. Perfect's not so
Can we
perfect
talk
after
about
all.
why she was even able to put on the jacket, though?
Oh, yeah. We should back it way
I gotta
up.
back way up.
I mean, just maybe like a few minutes, even.
Are we
just
talking
to
about a napkin?
Answer a question.
Napkin
That
cummerbund?
we
You know what?
haven't
I'm
really
just
had
going
it.
to take over at this point.
Okay.
So,
They
Oh.
bang? Did they bang? Did they bang? Did they bang?
Yes.
Yes, they did bang.
They
On
definitely
a boat.
Oh, I'm banging a boat.
Boat bang. Sorry.
prior
That's
to
all.
this,
Bang.
there is a
Wait, but why do we know? 'Cause
What?
why do we know they banged?
Oh.
Because
Say-
as Beth saw, there's a
talk
ton
about
of
it.
condom wrappers on the
Oh,
ground.
there were I think 2 condom wrappers on the ground.
Nice.
But there's a mention of HIV that's an important plot point
Yes.
early in the film, and then we were like, it's the 90s,
Yep.
etc. Okay,
No, that's
Molly,
that's all very
please
real.
take the reins.
Molly, you have
help me.
the floor.
So the critical part of all of this is that Sandra Bullock goes on vacation. While on vacation, she meets Pierce Brosnan, who's not Pierce Brosnan. It's the guy Devlin. And you can go ahead and make a note to yourself that her name is Angela and his name is Devlin, but she herself will not put this together for a while more. He's extremely charming. They go out, they talk. He's pretty manipulative, but whatever. We know that. She doesn't see that yet. But there's a moment on the beach where she's cold, and the natural thing you expect him to do is to
Yes.
take his jacket off.
Yeah,
and put it onto her. But instead of doing that, he takes a napkin and like seductively wraps it around her midriff.
Yeah.
It's a great move. I filed it away for later.
And she's like,
Into it.
now I'm warm.
Somehow.
She was 1 second ago freezing, and then he put a napkin on her,
Well,
and now
he
she's
did it
warm.
in
By
a
passion.
very
Oh, maybe she's
sensual
warmed
way.
up.
Yeah, she's,
she's
warmed up.
Downstairs.
If you know what I mean. Which is
I do
what
know. I do know what you
Dan
mean.
said earlier.
And I have more to say about the napkin situation. I'll save it.
Why?
Well, because it has some trivia components.
Okay.
I see.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
we already sang one song. We gotta.
We gotta,
And by saying, I mean, of course, Beth played the
Beth
Did They
played the-
Bang
Played the-
pre-recorded.
yes. But then he goes, okay, so then a man
Oh,
who's
purse snatch.
also, yeah, purse
Yes.
snatch, is also following them, and he steals her purse, and then Devlin follows him into the woods or something.
The beach.
Beach
Jungle.
woods. and then he looks in the bag to find, he's looking for
The disc.
The
disc.
disc.
It's a green disc.
Yeah.
But to prove that he was trying to protect her and he just got away,
Yes.
he slices his palm
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
which is confusing. Is it supposed to be like he tried to pull on the purse so hard that it cut his hand?
I
No,
don't know.
I think it was supposed to be Yeah,
Like
it
the
was
guy
a
was
little
like
weird.
brandishing a knife or
Yeah,
something.
he
Well,
was
then why
trying
would
to
it be
do-
like that? It would
If
be
you're
like,
like-
a jabby.
Well, if he's like swipey rather than jabby, depends on the kind of knife,
Swipey,
Beth.
swipey on your hand?
Listen, there's going to be a bunch of dudes on the internet that can tell you the different kinds of knives that are out there.
Okay, I don't want to hear from you.
Some of them are
So
jabby.
don't
We do not
Some of them are
contact me.
swipey.
But it is at this moment that Devlin chases this supposed mugger.
Yes.
That he takes out his gun with a silencer and shoots
Yes.
the mugger twice.
Yes.
And that's when you're like, oh, it is only like 20 minutes into this movie, and it is very clear
Yeah.
that this is not going in a romantic direction.
Yeah, that came much earlier than I think any of us were expecting. Like, we all assumed,
Yeah.
like, oh, this guy's definitely bad computer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he's
then they're
got
like,
slick
look,
back
he's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like straight up. Like, I figured it'd be like we'd learn he was bad at computer because he like did something bad on a computer. But no, we
Yeah.
see him straight up murder a dude
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he takes her out to sea on a boat,
so she can mend his hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
and he puts a new clip in his gun
Yes.
when he goes downstairs.
Yes, he takes it out of his drawer that it contains an ice cream scoop and some other random paraphernalia.
And he comes back up on deck, and she kind of puts the moves on him.
Ooh, yeah.
And he decides,
We might as well bang
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
murder this woman.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although we do learn later from a very strange interaction that he does genuinely find her attractive.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
I
He
think it
just,
was written in later to be like, well, people will wonder.
yeah. Did he just bang because he had to, or was he into her?
Because he had
The
to.
audience, the test audience, wouldn't let it go. So wait, was that part of the plan?
Wait,
or
but was it like or like?
Yeah, but it wasn't even like I have feelings for you. Actually, we're
It's
the
just
same.
Like,
Like we're both hackers.
I just
relate
find
to
you
It's like, no, I
attractive.
do find you attractive.
I just want to be clear. Look, creeps be creeps at any moment, I guess. The point is they bang. All their clothes are off, which we know because they're all on the floor.
Yeah.
And
They are wrapped in a beach towel.
yes.
Sandy Bowles picks up her bra later
To
and
make
just
it
looks at
again clear, they are naked.
She's like, look what I'm not wearing.
She puts on the jacket, as you do, and you're like, I'm cold. Ooh, I'll put on my lover's jacket.
it's an
She
intimate
finds
gesture.
the gun. We think, oh no, she knows he's bad computer.
Yeah.
Then it becomes drama-rama scene. You're like, oh no. Well, it's become so dramatic because the editor of the movie decided that when what's his name? Devlin like reveals himself explicitly to her and says like, yes, I was pretending to be all these things you described to Iceman and
Cyberbob. Her
on the
internet
chat
friends.
room about your perfect man. But as he's doing this, he's aggressively saying it to her. The camera keeps quick cutting to Sandra Bullock to like medium shot of Jack, but then it keeps occasionally just cutting into like just his mouth or just his eyes, and it's so uncomfortable, which I guess is the point.
It's so many cuts.
So many cuts.
The poor editor was like, really? Again?
You think it was Trudy
Oh.
Ship?
Trudy
But-
Ship.
Did
I
Trudy
think-
Ship snip?
I think Trudy was like, let's do this thing.
If we're gonna snip, let's fucking snip.
You want to see what Trudy can do?
That's right.
Snip, snip.
They're like, Trudy, we got to make this really dramatic. Oh, I will give you dramatic.
Trudy knows dramedy. Dramedy.
Dramedy?
No, drama.
Come on, drama.
Trudy knows everything.
Trudy
Yeah.
knows everything.
She's snipped across the genre.
She has. My point is, the full point, and by my point I mean Dan's point 20 minutes ago, is that you learn after he wrestles the gun away from her and he's like, now I'm going to shoot you now that you've looked at my mouth for so long. He pulls the trigger. Click, click.
Oh.
Nothing. Oh, also, she's smoking the cigarettes that she used to smoke, which is also a clue that Molly pointed out is too convenient
Too
for her
much.
not to feel a little weird about
Unless
the situation.
they're Marlboro
Right.
lights.
No,
which
they're
everybody smoked.
Newport.
Yes.
Brought to you by Newport.
Newport.
Brought to you by FedEx.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's
she-
a lot of
prominent
She has a
brands.
lit
A lot of
cigarette
Apple computers.
in her hand with the gun, and you just
Yeah.
think like, oh, whatever. Like maybe that's what she
She's
was
giving
originally
up.
looking for the
Yeah.
jacket, and so she's like, but then he clicks, nothing happens. She comes up, shoves that lit cigarette into his face,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we're like, Sandra B, you're the most competent victim of a potential murder we've seen on film in a long time.
She
Yeah.
hits
Also-
him with a heavy bottle.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
tries to get the radio working, tries to get the boat working, looks for a key.
Only finds an ice cream scoop
Only
Oh, and her disc.
and the disc.
Yeah. But yeah, I expect in film, in a movie in the 90s or today, let's be honest, a woman to just scream and flail around.
Or to ask, what do we do?
Yeah.
And she never does that.
Or kind of like fall into the thing
Yeah.
that they should do.
And part of that might be our experience with other Sandra Bullock characters, where she is like, you know, in her more comedic roles, where she is sort of like a little more pratfally and
Well, sure. But even in Speed,
yeah,
Keanu Reeves was calling all the shots.
that's true. I mean, you're going to listen though with that tight tee.
Oh,
Please.
right. But so so she exhausts her options on the boat,
Yes.
and so she gets into the little life raft boat with a motor on it.
Right.
And
Great
gets
choice.
that going, and then when the bad guy Devlin reemerges and jumps onto her boat,
Yeah.
she just like smoothly knocks him off. With
So
some Very
smooth.
good.
Like puts in between the boat and the
Other boat.
Other boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like reverses to the point where he like clocks his wrist on the side of the boat, and I assume that hurt like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means he can't really do anything for at least a little bit. We were all impressed
She
by
gets
how
out of
competent.
there.
For someone who was just sort of like, "Ooh, I'm so awkward and I don't normally have one night stands or have had sex since 1933." That's a joke, LOL, because I'm clearly in my 20s. You sort of assume when she finds the gun, it's going to be more like,
Yeah.
but no,
Yeah.
it's like an incredibly competent escape.
But then she immediately
Hits a
drives
rock.
other boat into a rock.
Which, to her
Yeah.
credit, no lights on that dinghy.
That's fair.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Or digging light. She's panicking. I think it's all very reasonable.
And then
Then
she,
it becomes basically an administrative hassle
yes.
for a while.
Can we jump to the first administrative hassle,
Yes.
though, which is the greatest doctor in all of Mexico?
He's
Oh,
my
yes.
first MVP of the movie, I think. He's credited as Mexican doctor.
Which, okay.
Okay.
He is a doctor in Mexico.
Sure.
Yeah, it's accurate.
Yes.
But he just rolls up, cool as hell, smoking a cigarette.
good.
Like, you're fine. You know, it's been 3 days. Just keep,
Just kick
chill
back.
out.
Just kick back. Enjoy
Yeah.
that sea air.
Yeah, I love that doctor.
So good.
Era of calmness, but also, like, I believe that he knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
And his advice was, you
Good
just
advice.
woke up from being passed out for 3 days.
3 days.
Oof.
Maybe take a breather.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then she's like, where's that disc? He's like, oh, it got destroyed in the sun.
Here it is. Here it
Yep.
is destroyed.
Yeah.
And she's like, I need my clothes. And so you think, oh, well, she'll just go back to the hotel.
Right.
But her hotel reservation was made by a computer.
This is the first time that we see the computer betray her directly.
Mm-hmm.
It betrayed her indirectly when her friend Dale's Cessna apparently got hacked so that it didn't know where it was, and then he crashed into something.
Some industrial tower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the first time computer like got in her way.
And
Yeah.
they really walk us there
Yes.
every single
Yes,
time.
they do. Just in case you're not clear how computers
This
work.
is the first of many, hey, this is the way it should be. These are the facts of the world.
Yep.
And then Sandra presents that. This is reality.
Yes.
And then person sitting behind a computer says, no, computer says this.
Yes. There's nothing we can do.
And so, yeah, yes, literally the hotel guy is like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
There's not even an offer of like, can I book you a room? It's
No.
like, computer says you checked out. Bye.
Yeah.
Like,
We're done.
okay, in reality, you're at a hotel.
Yeah.
Your stuff gets stolen.
Right.
And you're like, this is my name and my stuff has been stolen. And then you walk up to the front desk and they're like, well, we had a reservation for you, but it was for a few days ago. And you're like, well, I was in a coma for 3 days.
Right.
Yeah.
They would be like, this is really scary. Let us help you. Let's get all
They
this
would
stuff.
say, go back to that doctor
Yes.
and
Get a note.
just chill out
Just
for
chill
a
out.
few
Just
days.
chill.
Computer doesn't say you were in a coma, so there's nothing we can do.
But they wouldn't be like, next customer.
Yeah.
Like, they just kind of like push her away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she has none of her things. Her purse has been stolen.
Yes.
And then she gets a temporary visa and everything is accurate except her name.
And that's when the new identity starts that the
Mark.
hackers.
Marks.
That's
got.
also where we learned that this movie takes place in 1995, where some representative of the United States government is just like, here is your temporary visa. And a woman very suspiciously questions her own name and is like, and I need this to get back in the country, right? Yes, that's correct. And I just signed this name.
And
then
now
I
I'm this person?
Yes, correct.
Yes. Just do it. I got to go to
Then
lunch.
no problems. Temporary visa, entry into the United States of America.
Every last name in this movie is so spot on.
Yes.
Like, she's a Mark and her new last name is Marks.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Whoa.
Yeah. And, Devlin is the last name. She's Angela. I guess it's her first name. But yeah, she's
Angel and Devil.
Yes.
I get it. When you said that the first time, I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm like, is there a
Yeah.
famous Angela Devil?
Oh, no.
And then Bennett has net in the middle.
Middle.
And
If you say it in a weird way, it sounds like the name of the movie.
Bennett.
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 Bennett. I'm watching Bennett. Sandra Bullock's Bennett.
And then Gatekeeper is created by a guy whose last name is Gate.
Greg.
Bill
Greg.
Gates. Anyway.
His last name is Greg.
Oh, Greg.
Jeff Gregg.
Jeff
Greg.
Greg.
But
2 first names.
Gatekeeper.
Greg Gatekeeper.
Greg Keeper. Bill
Anyway.
Greg
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Keeper.
anyway,
It's
it
It's
just
all
keeps,
there.
for poor Sandra, it just gets worse and worse.
Yes.
They've already sold her own
That
house.
is
They give
insane.
her a criminal record.
Like outside the house, even. It wasn't
Yeah.
even like they did all this like while she's in a coma. Jack is literally outside the house in another car, tacking into the police car's
How was
computer.
he connected to the internet?
Maybe has a car phone.
I don't know.
I bet there would be some modem noise that would send me back in time. There was barely
any modem noise.
But there were a lot of noise, a lot of beeps, a lot of boops.
Everything on the internet was
quack,
so
quack.
loud in this movie. They all had every piece of software had an elaborate graphic user interface,
Yeah.
all of which had unnecessary sounds attached to them.
Although
Yeah.
that is real. That is
Yeah?
the most 1995.
Even the noises.
Oh my gosh. I feel like
Yeah.
in the very earliest days, the stuff that I was making anyway, people are like, basically, can you set that logo on fire, make it spin, and make a sound?
Well, I remember like being a kid and thinking it was very fun to like make GeoCities sites, and you would make like the mouse do like a thing where it would trail, and like it
Yeah.
was just like a lot of stuff going on.
Do it all the time.
Yeah, because that's how websites looked.
Trash.
They were trash.
But like, the fact that it made noise like every time it just like printed a line and then crossed out that line at one point, which was not something that I thought it was capable of doing.
Yeah. I mean, all movies about computers and hackers do this, where like there's way more user interface than there ever would be.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not a hacker. Don't hack me. But it's also because it would be so boring just to watch someone's terminal window
Right.
with just text scroll by.
But
Yeah.
you can feel that note in every moment of this
Oh,
movie.
absolutely.
Like the big studio note was, but is it going to be about her just typing?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Well, it's like one of those things. Okay, so in the movie, when she's hacking at the end, she actually has to click into a menu item to open a history of what's been typed into the keyboard,
Right.
and that's how she figures out what the password is.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm like, that is incredibly simple to like. It's a menu item. You just those are the passwords, and so I'm wondering like somebody did have to give the note like, I don't know what's going on. You have to make it super clear.
Yeah.
So make it so she can click it.
It's a drop down menu.
Yeah.
Hack computer.
My favorite element of all of these, of the like, we need to very visual computer stuff, was when she first gets into the like crazy Gatekeeper Life Destroyer program.
Yeah.
Like her file is literally just under her real name. Like they are apparently so organized. They're just like, okay, make sure you put her full name so I know which thing to click on if I have to fuck with her again.
Yeah. Though to their credit, I thought it was better than I expected still. As much as we're dunking on it, it was better than I expected. Like there's still a lot of user interface. There's a lot of beeping, but like there's enough like switching rapidly through windows and typing things in. And then I was like, all right, she's hacking.
I mean, to her credit, she did find fake Bill Gates by like tracking an IP address rather than just typing like enter identification computer Greg Corporation HR computer
run main protagonist.exe.
Although, as Beth pointed out, it was weird that apparently everyone has an internet profile with a full JPEG of their face and an IP address associated.
Yeah, your IP, which never changes.
It looked like a little, like an internet license.
Yeah, you have a license to use the internet. That makes sense. It was 1995. People didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to have it was a really interesting study in like all the ways they figured out for it to affect her life. So a different Angela Bennett has her job, and so she essentially no longer exists. It was just like a massive gaslight situation.
Huge.
Yeah.
That part of it was really effective.
Yes.
I thought like the thriller element of like your identity, you've been erased from the net, from the world because everything's computers that was really good. That held up.
And I really, there was an interesting scene where she's talking with her public defender.
Yes.
And the choices the actor made as the public defender were so good to just be like, because she's not like overly smarmy or sarcastic, but she just lets Andrew Bullock's character sound as insane as it sounds. Mm-hmm. Like it just doesn't sound reasonable. It sounds like every conspiracy there ever was.
Right.
Yep.
And so I just like the way she kind of underplayed it. Like mildly bemused, but not, taunting.
Yeah. That scene had my MVP in it, which is...
Yes, absolutely.
While they're speaking, there's a window behind them, and you can see the hallway, and a guard walks down the hallway and then just like kind of...
Hits her mark,
and then crosses her arms and just kind of stands there. And then in the next scene, she's the guard watching Sandra Bullock on the phone. And it really looks like she was there too early for the scene. Like she was like, oh shit. I guess I'll just stand here.
Or the PA that got her, like either there was just some miscommunication there where it's just like, oh yeah, we're setting up for the next scene. And she took that to mean like, get over there right now.
Yeah.
And they just happened to have built the set where like the phone was right on the other side of that window or something.
So she gets down to the end of the hallway and she's like, oh, they're filming. Okay. Just cross your arms. Look natural.
Authoritative.
Yeah. So maybe since the camera was like up and behind Sandra Bullock, what we couldn't see is her looking out the window going, what are you doing? Yeah. That was amazing.
Great.
And we should clarify that the mayhem is not just to Angela Bennett's life.
No, my God.
They're taking down the Atlanta power grid, which I will tell you as an Atlantan goes down all the time anyway. So I didn't.
Do you think that was an LOL insider joke from someone who wrote it?
I don't know. But my favorite line, maybe in the entire movie, is the airport is down.
The whole airport is down. Yes, that was amazing.
And then also... when they hack the airport and we see all the flight times flipping through like delayed or canceled, we also see that some flights get flagged as hijacked,
which is like,
it's insane that that's an option in the system.
Absolutely. Like maybe in their internal system, you could say that just for like, so everyone's on the same page. But the fact that it's even possible to display it.
Well, why wouldn't it's just a screen, right?
Yeah.
So can't the hackers like be like, oh, hijack?
Sure, maybe it's what
scary
LOL
words
from the Praetorian.
Oh, maybe they went and added value hijack to that array or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hate to ruin your fun, but that's probably how it was hacked.
All right.
But also, let's believe that the LA airport is just like, fuck, it could happen at any time.
I mean, how freaked out would you be if you went to the airport and saw
and your plane
You're
just
like,
said
on time? Hijack.
Oh, terrifying.
That would be awful. The hackers, speaking of the hackers, Dan bet that there would be some cool pirate logo And no, not at all.
Not really.
No.
Just that little pie sign in the corner.
Yeah.
But there is like I guess the hackers took the time to make graphics of the mainframe dissolving.
Yes.
That is unclear to me. That to me, it seemed like that was like, I think we were supposed to believe like that's the virus doing that or something. Viruses corrupt JPEGs, right? Or bitmaps.
Yeah, whatever it was. I will say about the dissolving computer, yet it is very funny that she erases everything and the pictures dissolve. Slowly. There is a world where like you overheat your graphics card
Okay, sure.
and the graphics go kind of funny.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Right.
It's still a jump.
So do you think in that instance the graphics card got overheated and she didn't actually break the
Oh
the
no!
whole
She
system at
only
all?
overheated the
Just
graphics
by
card.
the computer. It is also wild that when she does that, she has to access the mainframe, which
I
is
am
fine. It
still
gives us
so
a reason to go
confused
somewhere.
about that, though. Did she have to go to that computer, or did she just know there would be a computer there connected to the
That's the
internet?
thing, right? The computer at the office for the company is not connected to the mainframe. Okay, that's good security. It should
Sure.
only be, in a few places. But the computer at the
Pan-Pacific
public computer convention is
Yeah.
connected to the mainframe.
Which was the actual Macworld convention in January of 1995.
It's a very
Oh,
specific.
wow.
It's a
Marconi.
very specific piece of knowledge.
Yeah, how'd you know that?
Were you at that convention?
Were you there?
Did you get hacked?
No, it was the IMDb trivia site.
Oh, no.
Wait,
That's not where we go for trivia.
Molly.
Is that the only place you went?
That's
to?
Really?
crazy.
That's not where we go for
That's
trivia.
Bezos town.
I looked up Wikipedia and it was
Molly
Looked at Wikipedia. It's unclear if she learned anything.
Typed in
Keep going.
WYKDIA.com. Then she typed in .org. And she typed in the movie.com.
Nat.
thank you. Accurate. Thank you for playing that pre-recorded.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was very helpful.
It's nice that we recorded one where it was unclear if she actually learned anything from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
That was smart.
You
Yeah.
gotta have that in your back
I
pocket.
mocked you and they had the idea, Beth. And I
Well,
apologize.
I
Recording
knew we
studio.
needed some coverage.
Yeah.
So
Dan was throwing his hat on the ground saying, I won't do it again.
That was a perfect take.
You'll do another take or you're fired.
Yeah, it was
tense.
Yeah.
We're fine now. Everything's fine.
Everything's-
Everything's fine.
Kind of.
I've got to be honest with you. The Wikipedia entry for the net is extremely dull. There was
Probably got
almost
hacked.
no,
You got hacked. Excitement got hacked out of it.
very few interesting pieces. And I'll say that the IMDb trivia page was pretty scant as well on actual
hacked.
good hot goss, right? But there were two facts that I thought were interesting.
Hit me.
One is the one I already said.
Which is?
That it was the actual
Oh.
Macworld convention.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and she was mostly using a Mac OS 7. If
Sure.
you're
Wow.
wanting to calibrate your own
7.
home use computer to what you'll watch on the net.
Please, someone do that.
One of the big critiques of this film from Roger Ebert, who gave it 3 out of 4
Oh,
Oh.
well.
All right.
thumbs or stars, stars,
Starts.
was that it was essentially, his 1995 perspective was it was essentially an Alfred Hitchcock movie where you have a character who's innocent but who gets caught up and their identity gets pulled out from under them, which was a common theme. And in fact, there's a nod to it in the film where there's a similar scene between Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman. And can you guess what that scene was?
Oh, shit.
Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman.
Is that North by Northwest?
No,
Oh,
in Notorious, which is an
Oh.
Alfred Hitchcock film.
Notorious. Not
They-
an Affy.
The boat scene?
No, that's
Oh.
such a good guess.
The merry-go-round scene.
Oh, excellent guess.
And that's a
but no.
different Hitchcock movie, but
On top of the Mount Rushmore.
The one where the birds attack.
pizza.net.
The napkin scene.
What?
Yes,
What?
apparently, I know. That was lifted, and in that scene, Cary Grant makes a joke of it. It's more of a funny and sweet moment and less of a sensual moment.
But like he literally does the same thing. Like, oh, are you cold? And put the napkin on her
he
waist.
jokes that putting the napkin around her midriff will make her warmer.
But it's
It
played.
makes sense as a joke.
Yes.
It is funny as a joke.
Yes.
It's played so sincere and horny in this version. Oh, that's amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a good fact.
That's a great fact.
Yeah, my mind is blown.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're very
Trivia
welcome.
site.
Yeah, thank you, IMDb trivia.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Wait, don't thank you.
Thanks, Molly.
I am to be
you,
so
Molly.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Get
Oh,
at us.
but I'll
Mackenzie,
also
get out of
add, I didn't even look at Wikipedia or anything else until very close to the end. Nope. We already did the song. Until the almost nearly end of the movie.
oh, is that
It's a
when
nonstop thrill ride.
was that the moment when the computer typing stopped and they were just getting chased around the dark? And you just went, okay. Is that when you looked at
I was like,
Wikipedia?
I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It did slow down at
It
the
really
end.
did.
It did.
Can I bring up a fact that we haven't discussed
Please.
Yes.
Her love interest in this movie is Dennis
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Oh.
And like that alone is already like, what? But the
What?
backstory of this character is bananas. He was her therapist.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had an affair,
Yeah.
presumably mid being her therapist, right?
They must have started that
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
and that is inappropriate.
And that's like her one contact in the world.
And he still has his license. He's still practicing and drives a BMW.
And apparently has like a super doctor license because he can just go get her mom and put her in a different sanatorium.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
It's not. Now, I want to go ahead and give Dennis Miller props.
I do too.
He
Yes.
acted it very well.
Agreed.
What?
Oh, he acted it well because he was like right on the line between super creep,
Yep.
which he is, and just charming enough that you're like, okay, I guess you'd have him around.
Yeah, like, or you could see how a Sandra Bullock character would be like, oh, sure, you're a safe person that I can trust.
My only problem with that arc in a movie, I have more problems in real life, but
Sure.
in a movie is like she starts to fall back in love with him.
Yeah.
As
They get real
when he
close
almost
in the
dies
hospital.
because computer says he needs
That's
penicillin.
right. First, computer says he needs penicillin, and then when he gets hospitalized, computer says he's diabetic and needs insulin.
Yeah.
I don't know how much insulin.
Yeah.
I don't even test his blood before they give that insulin.
Jeez.
Just scan computer, deliver
Yep.
insulin.
Computer said insulin.
Didn't they give him insulin with an IV drip?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a thing that happens with insulin?
I don't think so. That
I
would
don't
be
think
a
so
lot
either.
of insulin.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's probably why he died, right? Because
Yeah.
computer said full bag.
Yeah.
Just give him all the insulin.
No, it says one bag of insulin.
All right. I mean, computer
I've
says.
literally never done that before in my entire career, but okay, computer says.
This is what's wrong with decentralizing the healthcare system because if it were the nurse who was only looking after him, she would have information. But
Yeah.
if somebody who just receives a cart with a bunch of,
Yeah.
UPC symbols or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Healthcare system?
Mm-hmm.
Don't.
Cool it.
Yeah,
Oh,
cool
man.
it.
Oh, P.S. There was in this movie, there's a protest about healthcare and healthcare as a human right back in 1995.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's
bummer.
a HIV AIDS
Yeah.
protest.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which, can I just say, is a odd choice for a random set piece in a movie about internet hacking?
Yeah. We got a user question about that.
Oh.
We're here.
Ooh.
Let's
Dan
Jump
went to
on.
Discord, put out a GIF to entice people to answer his or ask questions. This is on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Totes
.com.
to use our Discord. But first, you have to become a patron
.com.
to do that.
.com.
Thank you for
Jimmy,
playing that back. Again, I mocked you when you said we needed that song, but
I asked for more .coms, but
yeah, you get what you get out of this profesh. JPN Nicholas says, I bet the fact that the inciting incident of the film, Sec Dev commits suicide, was presented with an HIV positive diagnosis, hasn't aged well. It's not even really commented on.
it is.
yeah, so much so that we didn't even really comment on it yet.
Yes. Oof.
Oof. Yes, that is the inciting incident. That's the first hack. It's the original hack of the movie.
Right.
That they
Oh, I see. So they made computer make him think he had HIV
Yes.
so they could
Because
get
he's
the
homophobic.
undersecretary. Because the undersecretary was like, all the federal government will get gatekeeper. That was the plan, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and
Got
he
it.
he was not in favor of gatekeeper. So to get him out of the way,
Yes.
I guess
That
all they had
was
to do
their
was tell-
best
yeah.
plan, and it apparently worked.
Well, maybe that was their for starter plan.
Yeah.
Oh, and it worked out just as better than they could have
I mean, it
hoped.
worked out. Yeah.
So-
He eats a pear and kills himself at a park.
Yes.
That's the beginning of the movie. It's
After having
heavy.
a very sweet conversation with his son on the phone.
So
Yeah.
okay, but so Jack Devlin, when in one of his smarmy monologues, he's just like, "Oh, his homophobia is what got it." It's like, but so are we to take that to mean that he was having sex with men and he was ashamed of it, or he was just so homophobic that he's like, "Oh no, I've got the disease that dummies think is only given to gay men."
I took it as the second one. Like, he's so homophobic, he thinks only
People
gay
are
men
gonna.
can get HIV, so
or
I have it, so
yeah.
they'll think I'm gay.
Yes.
So I better kill myself.
I see. Okay,
That's what I thought too.
got
Which
it.
is
A bummer.
yes. Doesn't hold up well.
No.
But I would, yes, it doesn't hold up well. Full stop. Though the fact that there was any sort of showing rallies and protests about the AIDS pandemic was as sort of this is the world,
Right.
felt good is not the right word, but that felt like a positive thing. This is a real fact in the world.
Yeah.
And it's not played as for anything other than this is a reality.
Right.
So I guess I appreciated that.
That's true. It did balance that out a little, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if it's fully balanced. I wouldn't call it balanced. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't think it'd be inconceivable that would be the agenda of the screenwriter, though, right?
Yeah.
To shine a light.
Yeah.
Because it's all sympathetic. It's not
Right.
there's a lot of ways it could have represented in a.
Yeah.
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 I guess what makes it weird is just the fact that it is HIV is first introduced as an element of this movie because a government worker commits suicide about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is,
Well, the deputy secretary of something.
Defense, I think.
I thought he was
Defense?
full sec. And then,
No, he was
Oh, and then under sec became dep sec?
I think so.
Here's the thing about me and the federal government. I barely understand how it's structured because it's insane
Yeah.
and a labyrinth of random
There
people
are
with.
3 branches.
Okay,
of
let's
the
start there.
United
Okay,
How does the
States.
bill
great.
become a law, though?
No, we're not there yet. I need to know about what buildings people walk into.
They're usually white and they have columns on them.
Oh, I thought you meant the people.
Oh, I did too.
Oh, boy.
Boy.
Were there other disparate questions?
Yeah, there's a couple other. We usually get to those at the end.
Oh, you just felt like
It
you had to
just felt like a
Oh,
smooth
I see what you're
transition.
saying.
smooth transition.
Speaking of smooth, one thing.
I apologize. That was entirely because Beth and I made brief eye contact while you said smooth.
That's what happens.
Oh, evening sun.
Evening sun. All right.
It's not evening sun?
Midday
7
sun.
inches from
Midday
the
sun.
What's the
evening.
hottest sun, Molly?
The evening sun, obviously.
Have you
Because it's
not
been
listened-
out all day.
It's like, oh, let me take a nap.
Yeah, I'm so hot.
Been heating up all day.
Yep.
I thought Sandra Bullock did a great job with some very clunky dialogue that was meant to have her speak out loud. You know,
Ooh,
stuff that would
yes.
normally be an internal monologue,
Ooh,
like,
boy.
Yeah.
Next stop, convention center.
Oh, that was the worst one. And
It
that was
was so
clearly
hard.
ADR'd in later because it
Oh.
was just like she picked up the disc and then some test manager was just like, what is she doing with the disc? And then the same guy who was like, put more menus in this was like, you got to say what she's doing next, even though the next scene has a giant sign that says Pan Pacific Computer Convention.
Yeah.
And then you see Sandra Bullock.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I also realized that part of my love and affection for this movie is it does harken back to the very beginning of my internet use and experience. I did web design
Braggy.
and had an early job in a corporation managing the company intranet.
Ooh.
Which at the time, you know,
About mainframes.
we're watching this movie and, you know, we're making jokes about how, like, well, you can, you know, was this sort of a harbinger of the future of, like, being able to book a flight online or something, like a sort of a reach? And when did that become real? And I was thinking about it, and I started my corporate job in, like, 98. And one of my missions was to make the intranet seem friendly in case employees were wary of putting their information out there.
Sure.
And anyway, so it was, but it also harkened back to.
Molly, did you start Facebook?
No.
Did you make pizza.net though?
No, I did not make pizza.net.
Where she orders pizza from.
So good.
That's very good.
I pizzanet.com. Come on, it was the early days. There's only .com. But anyway, and top bit. Anyway, where am I going with this? The point is that I got to talk with people who worked on the servers at this big corporation, and my main contact had named her server Adidas because she was a soccer player.
Sure.
And I wish I could recreate for you the banter she would have, because she was typing into her computer. It was all Unix. There was no like clicking on menus or anything. But she would have a whole conversation with her computer like, huh? Yeah. Okay. What about this? Is it in the CGI bin? Oh, okay. Yeah. No, good. Like she would like, it was a whole conversation and she was just known for it. And it was the most delightful thing. And it just made me, I don't know, this whole movie just made me nostalgic for that time.
Yeah.
So you're saying Sandra Bullock's script required monologues to inanimate objects felt authentic?
No, I mean, I don't know that felt authentic, but she made it as...
She sold it. She charmed.
She fucking sells every dumb thing that this movie throws at her.
And there's a lot of... It requires some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
I also was thrown back to my youth by this movie in an unexpected way. My youth. Excuse me. In an unexpected way. She travels from LA to San Francisco.
Yes.
The only two locations movies can take place
She
on
went
that
to
are not New York.
Yucatan as well, sir.
Okay. And they play news clips to let us know that she's a fugitive, which is a classic movie.
Absolutely.
But the newscasters are the newscasters of my youth from the Bay Area. Dennis
Bananas.
Richmond and someone else.
Wow. A woman?
Elena something.
Carol, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
And it was just wild to be like, oh, it's the KTVU newscasters who did the 10 o'clock news for like 40 years.
Wow.
And one of them, Elaine, I guess I read, this is my fact from the internet, from internet.com.
Dan went to internet.com.
Thank you. She basically quit on air. Like she, after like 10, 15 years doing the news, she just said like, this is my last broadcast. And I guess most people in the building didn't know that was going to be true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And went on to have a career as an actress.
Oh, because of this
Really?
movie?
In this movie?
I guess so. I mean, they're delivering the news, but it's not real news. So that's acting.
Yeah.
But was this movie what inspired her to go into acting?
That I don't know. I stopped reading because I was tired.
That never happens with me.
Yeah.
I will say those facts were mentioned, not the quitting part, but that those were real anchors was mentioned. But I thought it was boring because I had no personal connection.
Right.
It was like when we watched The Graduate and they went to the San Francisco Zoo and I think I shouted, "That's my zoo."
Yes.
Or when
And no one else cared because why would you?
Wasn't there something with Driving Miss Daisy where you're like, oh, this yarn factory or something
Yeah.
is very...
Sock factory.
Yeah, sock factory. That's what it
And then
was.
this, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, one of these days...
And we
we'll-
recognize an exit in Fargo.
I think that's as good as we've got so far.
Yeah.
One of these days, we'll watch Slaughterhouse-5, and his wife will get into a car accident a few blocks from where I grew up. And I will shout to the heavens.
Make
There's
that a
a-
real nom.
Scene in Fast and
Alarm
Furious 7 or 8?
Uh,
7 or 8. I don't know which
Furious.
one.
Furious 7?
Furious 7.
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious.
Please describe the plot of the movie, and then we'll let you know which one.
Do they drive a car from one tower to another tower, then to a third tower?
It's not that one. There's
Okay.
a moment where a car comes careening around a corner, and it is one block, like a tiny block, not even like a big city block from my house in Atlanta.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Your house could have been in the movie.
Could have been.
Whoa.
Oh well, it's supposed to be LA, I think.
Yeah, that seems right.
Seems about right.
Because I don't think there was ever a point in that franchise where Toretto was like, "Oh, we so nice that we relocated to Atlanta, Georgia."
Have you ever noticed how hot it is here?
I've got my hot rod Atlanta here.
I shaved my head, so I should be wearing a hat at all times.
Trying to keep the sun off here in Atlanta.
I don't want the sun to burn my head. That hot evening sun.
The hottest sun of the day. Wow.
Well,
Perfect Vin Diesel impressions.
Perfect Vin Diesel impressions all around. 100% Utah.
3 Vins and a Molly is the
3
new
Vins and a
podcast.
Molly. Also, probably, I'm going to say maybe the greatest Hatlanta reference in the history of this podcast.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I don't approve of any of them.
Well,
Wow.
This is the closest.
but this is Vin Diesel.
Okay.
You gotta
All
give
right.
him a pass. Before we get to our final reviews of the movie we just watched, The Net,
Thank you.
we like to read Discord questions, as we alluded to and also did earlier. If you are a patron, go get on Discord and ask us these questions.
Do it.
These
Not
exact
right now, though.
questions.
It's
If
too
you're
late.
not on Patreon,
Get on
what is it?
Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.com.
Patreon.com.
Slash.
Don't you
Culture
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
All right, JBN and PLS.
Second question.
Previewed earlier.
Wow, wow, wow.
That last one was a statement. This is a question.
I see.
Do you remember the first time each of you ordered food delivery online, as it used to be called?
Wow.
No.
Maybe?
I feel like it was probably.
I think it was pizza. I know that's very on brand, but I think it was pizza.
Yeah, I think
it was pizza for me,
also
too.
ordered pizza online.
I think it was probably in college at one point.
Maybe like a Papa John's. Sorry.
It was a
Wow,
different
wow.
time.
Yeah, it's before I knew.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in college, and I was probably like, that was part of my, like, this is the lap of luxury. I'm living on my own. And I just,
Sure.
like, ordered a pizza to my room in
Yeah.
the dorms
Didn't even have
through
to
the
talk to
internet.
anybody.
Yes,
You got this
amazing.
dorm internet that's like
Click, click. That's
Oh
like
my
so
friggin'
fast.
ISDN.
I can friggin' download every song I want in a couple of hours because the university hasn't figured this out yet for another year and a half.
Give me all the Our Lady of Peace tracks.
Oh, I'm gonna download all these sweet tracks that are maybe not labeled correctly and just figure it out.
So many songs that were not real songs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure probably freshman year of college ordering a pizza from probably Papa John's. Sorry, because I think that was the one closest on campus.
Wow.
I feel like I've just used the phone like a dummy for a really long time. I do remember my friend explaining email to me around
Ooh.
93 or 94. And I remember her saying, you know, instead of writing letters, we could just send each other email. And I was like, okay, well, how does that work? And she's like, well, you know, probably your school set you up with an email address. I was like, great. Well, I was like, well, how long does it take to get there? And she's like,
Awesome.
well, like
Perfectly reasonable question.
immediately. I was like a fax machine?
Right? These are all
Natural
solid
extensions.
questions.
Like I had nowhere to put. And now to me, email makes a million times more sense than a fax machine.
Right.
Like how sound turns into an image on a piece of paper still
Madness.
doesn't really work for me, but I get ones and zeros.
Oh,
But yeah, I think I probably sounded just like Katie Lauer. Is it Katie Lauer? Nope.
Who's that?
Who?
Katie Couric.
Oh,
Oh.
what'd she
John
do?
Lauer when they in that famous
Lauer.
clip, Matt Lauer,
Creep Lauer.
Creep
Lauer.
Lauer, where they're trying to explain the internet to them
Oh, no.
on live television.
Oh, no.
They're like, well, so wait, what is the internet? And it's quiet for a second, and then a producer says, it's a system by which computers are connected and talk to each other. Okay. It's like, so, you know, you can like share news or send messages or emails or whatever. Uh-huh.
And then Matt
can, like,
Lauer's
you
like,
know,
what kind of
buy
messages
things.
can you send?
It's revolutionary. I could
Yikes.
send messages to a lot of people. The same image.
Maybe an image?
Ugh.
I don't know if that was his thing. I'm sure he did it.
Yeah, I'm sure at least once.
Creeps,
Ay.
stand up, go
Hey,
to jail.
creeps, log off. Throw your computer on the ground like an angry Sandra Bullock in a hospital.
Yes.
And yeah, walk up and say, I'm a creep. Please take me to Creep Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have I ever told you, this is a real Molly Chase moment, about when, this was back in the days of dial-up, when my computer
Thank you.
man father was like, look at this crazy thing. I have my work laptop has an Ethernet port. Look at this. This is the internet.
Yeah.
It blew our fucking minds.
Yeah.
But at one point, this was, I don't know, at some point later, we had our own personal computer. and it could connect to things. But we still only had the one modem that I think my dad used for work.
Yeah.
And I had to do something for school that involved the internet because they were like, hey, we should teach these kids how to use the internet. But my dad, Molly, my parents are divorced.
Oh.
My dad left the modem at his parents' house where I believe he was staying at the time, Molly, because he wasn't living with me.
I see.
And I had to...
Molly is grinning so big right
Yeah,
now.
so big.
I've never seen a bigger smile.
But I didn't know
She's
if
so
it
happy.
was... I didn't know if the modem was at that house or if it was with him at work. And so I called... I don't know if I just didn't know his work number. I don't know. I called my grandparents' house and I got my grandfather on the phone. I said like, oh, I need to know if dad left this here. And like, so basically I had to say like, oh, like he left a modem here. And he's like, okay, what, that means nothing to him,
Yeah.
right?
What is that?
So I had to think of just like I literally just like describe like it as a visual object because it meant nothing to him. And I'm sure it didn't say like modem in giant letters on it or anything.
Yeah.
And he, God bless him, he worked for the FDA for his whole career and he was a dairyman. He would test the cheeses of America,
wow.
Nice.
which is hilarious because my entire family of that side comes from Wisconsin. And he literally said to me as we were trying to like navigate this together, he's like, is it about the size of a pound of cheddar? And I just like, my brain just shorted out for a second. I'm just like, I don't know. Cause it was this amazing like moment where like two generations were like blowing each other's minds from different angles. Cause in my brain at that point, I'm just like, are there specific shapes to certain weights of specific kinds of cheese? That was mind blowing.
Yeah.
But did he have the right thing? Was it about the size of a pound of cheddar?
Probably, when you think about it, like there's, probably.
I'm trying to think what is that a standard block of cheese size at the grocery
That's
store?
well, right. That's what I was thinking the whole time too. But it's like I don't know which is the correct answer.
Yeah, that seems like a pound to me.
Right?
A
about
block
right.
of cheese.
I'll look this up.
That seems small for a modem, but I guess I was smaller then too.
Oh my god! Well, maybe since my dad worked for computercompany.org or whatever, he got like the top of the
wow.
line.
Oh, I wonder if
56K.
is my timeline.
56 whole K.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it. I came back to school after winter break with a modem and like a little Apple II or whatever. And I hadn't set it up yet. And my roommate, God bless her, had this habit of just playing dumber than she was. Like, I think she was a valedictorian at her school, at a private school. But she would be like, do you know where the thing? I lost my thing. Like, she used the word thing for everything, including a condom that I found in my lower bunk bed. I know.
Hot
We had
goss.
words about that.
Yes.
But anyway.
Good job
What?
practicing safe sex.
Sure.
Good job. Well, that was not the conversation we had. The conversation we had was, I need you to not do that while I'm in the room. And she's like, I know, I told him. She's like, I told my boyfriend we shouldn't, but I was like, but what? What comes after that? Anyway, the point is, her boyfriend went to a school in Atlanta, and we were in Athens, Georgia. And he really wanted to connect via modem to avoid long distance call charges.
Ah.
And I had like a manual there and stuff, but I had not had time to look at it at all. And I was like, I can look at this when I come back. I've got to go do this thing for like an hour or two. And when I came back an hour later, she had set up the modem entirely on her own. And it was like at that moment that I was like, oh, my roommate is smart.
Just lazy.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like she's super pretty and doesn't have to do a lot.
Right.
So she just chooses not to. She also had the world's most annoying alarm clock. I'll save that for another time.
Nice.
Just a teaser for the future.
Ooh, I love that.
I
It
also
was
have
rough.
a college alarm clock story that I will follow up after Molly's story.
Oh,
We'll just have to find a movie with alarm clocks in it.
we already did Groundhog Day.
Or maybe this is December's bonus content. Alarm clock.
Ooh.
talk.
Yeah, head on
Ooh.
to
Patreon.
patreon.com/Totes Recall.
Amazing.
Get that bonus content about
Alarm
alarm clocks.
Alarm
Wow.
clock talk.
What an
.com.
enticing advertisement for our bonus content.
All right, we have one more Discord question.
I love it.
Lady Grimm asks, I've just Googled the premise. Do you think what happens to Sandra Bullock would translate well to modern technology? I think
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Even more so,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like you'd probably, I feel like you'd have to be more explicitly like, oh, this one company. Like it wouldn't even be like in this movie where it's like a secret company. It'd be like literally like this one corporation fucked you over
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
multiple levels.
But isn't like China right now investing heavily in satellite systems for cyber warfare specifically? Like, I mean, that's
You mean
sorry,
like
this is one that-
offensively or defensively?
like offensively.
Oh, probably. I don't know.
That is, I don't know, some
You saw it on Twitter?
secretary or some,
Right, Bart?
some deputy secretary or someone.
I don't want to agree with this because don't want to be like, yes, that conspiracy theory is true, Molly.
No, but it was like on NPR.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's just, listing out among the threats that the U.S. military has to face. It's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter if you have a bunch of jet planes, if all of your satellite and communications is down.
Yeah, or you can't even order pizza.
Yeah, you can't even order a
Can't
pizza,
get to
much less
pizza.net.
send
behind the
anything
firewall?
anywhere.
Well,
yeah.
like, I don't know, a month ago or something, Facebook went down for
was
like a
amazing.
day and people
so
lost their minds. And that's one website.
Right.
Yeah.
What if you couldn't get to your anything?
I mean, part of that was like because they built it so stupidly, where like literally they couldn't even get into the server room because all of their security keys were also linked up with that same network. So they like, I'm pretty sure this is not apocryphal. I'm pretty sure they literally had to get a dude to just like fucking cut the door open.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's my favorite thing
I
I've
love
ever
it.
heard.
They can burn.
zuck themselves.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
No, it was a glorious day, but also, yeah. I mean, that just
Yeah.
tells you like,
But if Google goes down for an afternoon, that messes with me.
well, actually, fun
Oh,
fact.
Go on.
They could go down forever too.
Yeah, fun fact about
Burn it all.
How am I going
Burn it
to
all.
finally delete all my ex-boyfriend emails if Google burns
Google
down
just-
before I get a
one by
chance?
one.
they've done it for you.
This is the bonus topic.
Yeah, that's okay. Alarm clocks and deleting emails. Get on it. Patreon.com/Recall.
Sounds captivating.
Actually, when Facebook went down, there was a very moment of like confronting your privilege where people were like, "Oh yeah, it's LOL because like Facebook sucks and now none of your racist uncles can like share horse dewormer memes." But Facebook also owns WhatsApp, which is a huge digital infrastructure for other parts of the world for like
Commerce.
legitimate business and commerce and
yeah.
even like medical practices. So like as much as it was like inconvenient for a bunch of dumb Americans, it actually like legit fucked over half the planet for a day, which is terrifying.
yeah, that is.
So I guess the answer is yes. It's very possible today.
Burn it all down. But yeah, it is interesting that the sort of, I don't know, I think the movie could absolutely be remade today, but it's also like the like sort of hacking has moved now away from the individual. Like people aren't getting ransomwared as much
Right.
anymore as like entire school districts
Or-
or utility companies
Yeah.
are being taken off
Power plants
or
and-
small governments,
Right.
which is probably scarier.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
like this movie was sort of like implying, but I guess they decided like it was too far-fetched at the time to make that be the movie
Yeah.
or something. Although that might be, again, what the movie Enemy of the State is about with Patrick Stewart and his broken nose.
It kind of is, right?
Yeah.
I think, is that Will Smith?
I think it's Will Smith and like satellites or something.
Yeah, they
right?
kind of like take over his identity and are chasing him and
Yeah.
make
Oh,
him
yeah.
an enemy of the state.
Oh.
That
Through
makes more
hacking.
sense. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not today, but it's,
We're all enemies of the state
am
at
I
this
right?
point. Am I right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Here in
Yikes.
Minneapolis, the liberal hellscape.
Man, should we at least circle back on the Bechdel Wallace?
Yes, we should.
Okay. It passes.
Oh,
Okay.
it does?
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely
of.
does. She talks with
Does mom?
does mom count?
She talks with her mom. Mom is not named. Mom is just called Mom.
That's true. We don't know Angela the phony Angela.
We do know her name.
She's
Her-
Ruth Marks.
She's Ruth Marks.
Or,
They
So-
swapped?
I
Yeah.
guess. Or she got hacked.
or she got hacked in that to cover everything up. That's
Unclear.
probably more likely. It was like, oh, we had a Ruth Marks everybody was chasing. Let's make it this dead girl now.
Yeah.
Dead lady.
It's a
Excuse me.
really late. It's like the end of the movie.
The newscaster voiceover.
That's how late it passes because we don't find out her real name until the newscaster says that the woman is identified as Ruth Marks.
Which
I
might
was
not
heavy
even
in
be
the
a real
trivia.
name.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we're not counting mom as mom?
No.
Do they never say her name at the...
No. I don't, do they? She says Mrs. Somebody calls her Mrs. something at
Do
one
they?
point. Yeah.
Bennett?
I would.
I mean, presumably, yeah.
Yeah. I guess that would pass.
Let's
then.
call it a B minus.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
W minus.
B for bees.
Sandy's bees.
Wow.
Thank you.
Pretty good.
That's just like the ocean.
Yeah, it is.
Moon. All right. As Beth just transitioned to, our rating scale is Sandy's Bees, which we all remember that Sandra Bullock
Took up crochet.
took up crochet in her privileged time in the pandemic where
Yes.
she had too much time on her hands. And made these bees. They're lovely. They're large.
So
they're
cute.
squishy. When you first see them, you think they're probably alive, but that turns out to not be true.
Yes.
And they're sitting by the door for guests to take as they leave.
Yes.
You can take up to 5. That's how many are left when you leave her house after having an afternoon tea
Yeah.
with Sandy B.
T's and B's.
Yep.
T's and B's with Sandy B.
Yeah. So that's the rating scale. We all remembered it. That's a
course.
recap for the listeners. Dan, you gave it 4, and you thought the computers would be fun and you'd be delighted. And this was a speed era Sandra Bullock, so that would be good.
Yeah. I think that was all true. I was delighted every time people used computers. Sandra Bullock was, just a delight as per usual. I enjoyed how weird it was to have Dennis Miller be there. I'm sticking to it. 4 B's.
4 B's.
Sandy's B's. I'm so
Sandy's
sorry.
B's.
T's B's.
What?
What? What time is it? Is it past midnight yet?
Ooh, great question.
I'm Beth
No.
Gibbs. I go second. Oh, last name on this one. Said my last name. Anyway.
Doxed yourself.
Yeah, I doxed
Oh,
myself.
no.
You're on the net now.
I also give it 4.
I'm so sorry. I just feel like you're ready to go. You thought it would be fine as a movie, but you'd also be very entertained by it.
Yeah, I feel that way. I thought it was very entertaining. I was genuinely moved by her relationship with her mom.
Oh,
And I thought it was a good thriller.
those Sandy B
So,
tears.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to say 4.
great.
Love it.
I gave it 4. I predicted 4. I thought it would be a fun 90s movie, and it'd be great. I don't even know why I take these notes, honestly. What are we doing here?
You have to get your keyboard.
Yeah, I
a bunch
need
of
to be-
keyboards
I gotta
like
hack
Sandy
these notes
Boy.
onto the page.
Sandy
Sandy
my,
Boy.
Sandy Boy.
my brain is melting. Because whatever you said earlier gave me that headache.
TikTok.
And now,
This exceeded my expectations just as a movie. Like I thought the thriller movie, this is a story aspect of it was better than I expected. The fun LOL, look at this old technology was actually less LOL than I thought it'd be, but it was still fun. As I was watching it, I was like, this movie rules. I'm giving it a 5. And then about the same time Molly pulled out her phone, I was like, this movie should be over now. So I'm going to go up to 4.5.
ooh, that's
Half a B.
What does that mean?
Just unraveled a little bit.
But like you unraveled it? Like you looked Sandra Bullock in the eye and just undid some of her work?
I think she's mid knitting on another bee,
Okay.
and I snatched that one.
But it's like a fun game between you guys.
Yeah,
She's like, ooh, I'm going to give you this bee's butt next time I see you.
yeah, I'm like the George Clooney of having tea with Sandy B. He's always playing pranks.
Oh, sure.
They've probably been in a movie.
Yeah,
That
they were
Space
in
One.
Space One.
Ugh, didn't like it.
Jeez.
what a roller coaster.
Mansplaining in space, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it was predictable.
I mean, space.
We can
is-
talk about it
All right.
later. That's bonus content.
Alarm clocks?
Alarm clocks. Molly's
Deleting
old
boyfriend emails and Dan's
Gravity.
opinion about the movie Gravity.
That's what it's called.
Got it.
Great. Molly Chase, you are last but not least.
Absolutely
you.
not.
and you gave it a 4, and you were very confident about that 4.
Oh, yeah. And I had a really similar experience to you, Dan, with the really enjoying it. This is fun, exceeding expectations. Oh, no, I fell asleep. Oh, no, I'm looking at my phone. I didn't even bother checking into the Ruth Marks name reveal, at all. So I want to give it 4.5, but I'm worried I'll have to explain how I got the half. So I'm going to stick with 4.
Wow.
Sandy Bees.
So because you don't want to threaten your burgeoning friendship with Sandra Bullock, you're sticking with 4.
Can I be honest?
Yes.
I also didn't want to explain what a half a B was, so I just gave it a 4.
Wow.
Wow.
We're not being honest.
Wow.
I get it. I guess I'm the only one who's authentically rated movies on this podcast.
I did it too. I took the half a B.
Yeah, you took the risk.
Okay.
And it turned out to be just fun because Sandra B found it charming.
We're
tell
better
you what.
friends for it.
I took 5 and Beth took 4. And as we left,
Yeah,
I said, let's just share this one between us.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
It's
how it
still
happened.
whole.
Still whole.
It's conceptually.
You guys,
conceptually
like-
share.
It's like an NFT B.
Yeah.
Well,
You guys-
and
maybe
TV.
like the B lives at Beth's house Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah,
and
right.
then goes to Molly's house Wednesday,
and
Thursday,
like
and
it's
then back
fine. It's maybe more
Friday,
complicated than
Saturday,
it has to be.
to Beth's. Yeah, but it's convenient for Beth and Molly.
Right.
And as far as you know, the B's fine with it.
the B's doing okay. The B's
Yeah.
accepting the situation because
Yeah.
what else can they do?
Right. The B doesn't have control
No.
over their own
Well,
life.
it's definitely not the bee's fault that we have put together.
Sure,
this
of course it's
arrangement.
Of course,
No
it's not
one
the-
ever
no one was
suggested
saying
that.
it was the B's fault.
Why
Molly.
would you even bring that up? Why do you put that into the conversation?
The B was just in the bowl. It had nothing to do with the situation it found itself in.
Don't blame B.
Don't blame B. B was in bowl.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.